Welcome, Story Time with Pastor Steve. Today's story, The Boy Who Came Back to Life. It's from 2 Kings chapter 4. It's written by Roberta Parsegan and illustrated by Jim Cummins. Elisha the prophet was grateful for this woman's loving care. He enjoyed the chance to rest his feet whenever he stopped there. Elisha the prophet walked the road through the little town of Shunem. A Shunammite woman greeted him and made him eat with them. The woman soon began to guess who Elisha might be. She called her husband and said to him, "A holy man is he?" She then decided to make him feel at home in every way, so they added a little room to the house where the holy man might stay. They put inside a sleeping mat and chased away the mice. They added a table, a lamp, and a stool. The room was very nice. It wasn't very long before Elisha and his servant came. He thought that they would eat some bread and then say goodbye. Instead, the woman led him up to the room that they'd prepared, and Elisha's heart was filled with joy for the love this family shared. While resting late on his mat, he thought of the woman's goodness. She said, I want to show her how much I appreciate her kindness. He turned to his servant Gehazi and said, "Go to the lady, please. Tell her I must speak to her. Make her feel at ease." When told, the woman quickly came and stood inside the doorway. She listened carefully to the words that Elisha had to say. "Because you've taken care of us and done such generous things, can we obtain a favor for you from the army chief or king?" But the woman was very satisfied with things the way they were, and Elisha was left befuddled as before. What could he do for her? In secret, Gehazi then told him this: "I know that you make her glad. The woman's never had a child. I know this makes her sad." Happy Elisha called her back. Said he, "For all you've done, about this time a year from now, you will have a son." The woman just could not believe that what he said could be. She begged Elisha, "Man of God, oh, please don't lie to me." But sure enough, the months went by. Her life was filled with joy. The prophet's blessings did come true. She had a baby boy. Over the years, the child grew strong. He was healthy. He was a healthy lad. The fields were where he often stayed, where he could help his dad. But out in the fields one morning, so sad, the young boy tripped and fell. My head, he cried in pain. "My head," they heard him yell. Home to the mother, a servant man, placed him on her lap. The mother held the child till noon, but he died of the terrible mishap. The mother cried, "My child is dead. He lies on Elisha's bed." Maybe she thought as she closed the door, "God will help my boy who's dead." She called for her servant to saddle an ass, and believing that all would be, if she could get to Elisha the prophet, who stayed on the mount called Carmel. Elisha the prophet saw her coming, and Gehazi was sent out to see if everything was fine with her and those in her family. At first she answered, "All is well," then fell into a heap, crying and sobbing and holding on to the prophet Elisha's feet. Gehazi tried to push her away, said, Elisha, let her be. There is something deeply troubling her, but God has not told me. O Elisha, man of God, the woman boldly cried, you promised I would have a son, but now my son has died. Elisha gave Gehazi his staff and told him, go ahead with my staff, and you are to touch his face. He will no more be dead. But when Gehazi touched the child with the staff, as Elisha said, the boy did not stir with life. He lay there stiff and as lead. When Elisha and the grief-stricken finally did arrive, they found the boy still in the bed. He still was not alive. Elisha shut the door to the room. Only he and the boy were there. The prophet got down on his knees and said, God, hear my prayer. And then he stretched out upon the boy, so every part did meet. The cold, still form then soon began to take a little heat. Then Elisha paced the floor a while, though the house from side to side. Once again he lay upon the boy, who opened his eyes wide. Gehazi called the mother in to see what had been done. She fell at the prophet Elisha's feet and praised God for her son. Wow, what an amazing thing that God did through Elisha, that God raised a boy who was dead. You know, he does that for us too. We are dead in our sins. We can't do anything to be saved by ourselves, but Jesus came to suffer and die and rise again to bring us life. So just like the little boy in the picture is super excited about being alive, and his mom is very blessed to have him alive, we too are very blessed that God would bring us back to life through his son Jesus. May he bless you today.